So nearly a year after Max went up to a media camp for the newly released wheel company Forge+Bond Composites, we're ready to release our long-term review to see how this premium American-made carbon wheel set has held up. Stay tuned, let's go for a ride. So if you missed it, last year Max went up to the media camp for Forge+Bond. They are a new name, however, they are related to CSS Composites, which is a company that has a long history of making quality carbon fiber products for the mountain bike space. And Forge+Bond is just their newest endeavor, led by a really passionate and smart group of individuals. And there's some definitely unique bits of manufacturing and technology and know-how that go into these wheels. So we'll link the video and the story to that media camp. There's some interviews with some of the engineers and designers and a lot more tech. So we'll go over a couple of little topics, but focus more on the ride quality and impressions of the wheels today to keep this a little bit shorter. So first up, again, these wheels are made in the USA. These feature a lifetime warranty, 60-day return it and ride it policy, and I think one of the things that makes it the most unique is their fusion fiber technology, which again is built in the USA. The fusion fiber technology is different than the thermoset wheels that most of us have ridden in the past, in that they use materials that are made with long chain polymers rather than the more brittle and toxic epoxies and resins that are found in most mountain bike wheels and other components. So this advanced thermoplastic composite material is not only completely recyclable, so these wheels can be recycled and reused over and over again. They also offer some different properties when it comes to handling, strength, and performance on the trail. Something else that's neat about Forge+Bond's manufacturing process is that they use a fully automated cutting and layup process to deliver the finished wheels that save energy as well as eliminate waste. And speaking to that consciousness of waste and material, Forge+Bond actually can create really cool tire levers from some of the leftover scraps that are some of the most beautiful, I would say, tire levers that we've seen. Really cool. Before getting into ride impressions, let's quickly talk about the options available. You can either buy a rim or complete wheel set. The rims are $425. Wheel sets start at $18.99 and go up to $21.99. There are i9 Hydro Boost or i9 1-to-1 hub options. The outer rim width sits at 38 millimeters and the inner rim width is 30 millimeters. So it's designed to accommodate 2.3 to 2.6 inch wide tires. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the ride quality and characteristics. So again, Max was the first rider on these wheels. He weighs about 140, what are you, 100? You're a skinny little guy, Max. 155 pounds, a young buck. So he's a light guy. And I think that's probably worth noting because carbon wheels can feel really stiff, especially vertically. And Max didn't feel that those wheels were overly stiff or abusive for him. He's really in tune with bike setup, suspension, and how a bike feels. So he had it quite a few miles up in Bellingham and the surrounding areas at the camp, and then brought him back home, put some more miles on his personal bike. We then passed it around to a couple of our other testers here in-house. We actually put them on a Trek Fuel EXE, so a lightweight e-bike, and put them on an enduro bikes, took them to the bike park on our Trek Slash. One of our other testers put it on his own personal Gorilla Gravity. So they have made the rounds over the last 10 months plus. And all of our testers agreed that the wheels are really impressive. There were not really any negative characteristics that we could come up with from the ride quality. Obviously a $2,000, $18.99 to $21.99 wheel set is not in everybody's budget, right? I mean, you can buy a complete bike for that price, but you're probably also not watching a custom carbon wheel review if you're not looking to spend that kind of money on a set of wheels. So yeah, value aside, I think the ride quality of these wheels speaks for themselves. All of our riders were very pleased and very impressed. You know, it's kind of hard to review a wheel set if they don't really have any drawbacks, because what you want a wheel to do is you want it to be durable, you want it to hold up, you want it to spin around and stay true, you want it to engage and drive well, you want it to feel confident when you get on the brakes and lock the back end up, slam it into corners, when you're pushing into berms real hard, landing, you know, compressions where the bike is bottomed out, your body's bottomed out and everything's wanting to twist and flex. But then also when you're side hilling over wet roots or rocks and you want traction and you don't want to get, you know, hit and deflected offline, you know, there's a very fine line when it comes to designing a good quality wheel, something that will help keep you online when traction is scarce, but also won't feel like a noodle when you're really pushing it hard into corners. And I think that's why, like with anything, right? Finding a bike that climbs like an XC bike and descends like a downhill bike, you can't really do it. And so you can't always find a wheel that will hold up in mega G berms, but also won't deflect you offline when it's really loose and skittish. So, you know, I think finding components, bikes, wheels that best suit your terrain, your riding style, and what matters to you most is important. And where these wheels sit in is, I would say, pretty squarely in the middle of the road. They're not the stiffest, gnarliest wheel, but they're pretty dang stiff. They're definitely not flexy by any means. So I would put them more on the stiffer side of the spectrum than not. You know, so I would say if you are someone who's really in super wet, loose, side hill off camber roots or marbly terrain, you're not gonna be like flashing back to, like, you know, 2012 Envies. Was it Envy back then or Edge? I can't remember. But you know, they're definitely on the stiffer spectrum. So if you like railing corners, slamming into berms, if you ride aggressively, you know, these things are gonna hold up. We haven't touched them in 10 months. You know, light e-bike SL, e-bike use, bike park trips, nothing. These spokes are tight, the nipples haven't moved. They're still spinning true. We haven't heard any nasty sounds, that's impressive too. I mean, we usually can make spokes say bad things, and these things have held up really well. So I think Forge+Bond have done a great job. It's a premium price tag for a premium product. They're made in America. They offer a good warranty. You know, they're as conscious as they can be about what they're manufacturing, and it can be recycled and reused, and I think that's really cool. So if you're in the market for a high quality carbon wheel set, I would have no qualms in recommending these. I definitely believe in them and stand by them. And part of the reason that we took so long to do this review is because I didn't want them to risk maybe saying, cool, now that you're done with the review, send them back, because we like them and we want to keep them. Can we do that, guys? So thank you guys very much for watching. Please ask any questions that you have down below. Let us know if there's any other wheels out there that you guys like better that we haven't reviewed yet. We'd like to check it out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you out on the trails.